Hello, everybody.
What's up?
What's up? Welcome to the Marriage Matters Podcast with your hosts, John and Dom, where we discuss all the matters of marriage because we believe that marriage still matters.
Yes, it does. Still. You don't like when I do that, do you? Still.
It still matters. Huh? DJ
does.
Callie says still.
I got to find that because you've been talking about it and I've not heard it. I got to pull it up.
I got to find that clip for you. It's like whenever he unboxing some new shoes, he be like, still. Still.
I like some Khaled.
Right?
Right. Yeah, no. I got to find that video.
I'll find and show it to you. So, yeah man, happy Wednesday to you guys.
Wednesday.
Thank you so much for being with us on today. We hope that you will get something great from this episode, that it will bless you in a blessing kind of way.
Bless and keep you.
That the blessing keep you. It's my prayer. So how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Today's been a great day, you know? So today has been today.
Today has been today.
No complaints.
No complaints.
No complaints at all.
Yeah.
You know, I really don't have anything to complain about much at the end of a day. I have you.
Oh.
I know how to pour it on, don't I?
Good. I'm telling you. You all right. You all right with me.
I'm good at what I'm good at.
Right.
Yeah. You know,
Okay. You all right with me, though. You all right with me. But
that's going to cost you.
It's going to cost me? Okay. All right. I'll pay you. But yeah, man, we are here. Excited about this episode. We got some good information for the people today.
We do. Yeah, back in the studio for the second time.
Yeah.
First episode was, I think it was pretty
That first
bananas.
episode, was good, man.
Good.
The last episode, which was the first in-studio episode, it was good.
Yes, it was.
I feel like we recapping the Sunday message.
You think?
We can't be recapping.
Don't recap. Go
Don't
watch
recap.
the first one.
Go
if you
watch
haven't.
it. If
Go
you
check
haven't
it out.
watched last week's episode, go watch it.
Yes.
It's some good stuff in there. It's some
Very
good
much.
stuff in there. So today, we're gonna talk to the people about how to maintain a healthy relationships after marriage.
Okay. So like friends, family, loved ones, those kind of
All
relationships,
that.
right?
Work relationships.
Okay. That's important too.
Right. How to maintain relationships, healthy relationships after marriage.
Right.
What you think about that?
I mean, so are we implying that there has to be some type of like order to those relationships? Are we saying that that needs to be discussed?
Yeah.
Like, you don't think people are maintaining healthy relationships after marriage?
No. I sit down with enough couples on a day-to-day basis to know that we're getting married, and once we get married, although that relationship is now the most important earthly relationship that we have,
And it is.
we kind of don't know what to do with the other relationships that we had prior to marriage and how they
can see
fit
that.
now.
So-
How they
so-
fit, where they fit.
People are getting married and then they're like, my man, I don't want to, I ain't going out with my girls no more. Is that what some people are doing?
I mean, some people are doing
So,
it. Some
okay.
people are doing it. Some people
Maybe
are doing
they
it.
feel like, because there is like a prioritization of such, that maybe they just don't know how. Like, they don't know how to incorporate all of those meaningful relationships, because we got to be honest, like, those friends were real prior to us getting
Absolutely.
married. They were meaningful. We
Absolutely.
enjoyed each other. We had a good time. And so I think that has a lot to do with maybe the narrative that's been painted within certain communities.
Okay.
That, once you get married, which is true, your marriage is priority, but don't bring nobody around your man, or don't do, you know what I'm saying?
man.
So, I mean, am I, no?
No, you know. hey, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because I've heard things like that.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why people sometimes are reluctant to bring those friendships into their marriage. I've even heard it like as a woman, that you shouldn't have single friends anymore after you get married, that they have no value or they have nothing to offer. Now, while you all may be in different seasons and in different spaces, I think if they were your friend and they were genuine prior to your marriage,
Right.
I don't think you just have to drop those people off.
Right. You just kind of know where they fit.
Where
now.
they fit.
Where they fit.
Right? Where they fit.
Yeah.
And so for as long as those individuals aren't talking against marriage or
Right.
against
True.
your marriage or your spouse in particular, I think your friends can still be your friends.
You can still kick it.
Yeah, we can still kick it. I mean, not all the time.
Right.
Because I ain't single no more. You know, I do want to go home to my man.
I dig it.
But we're still friends. So let's talk about that. What do you think about that? How's that for men?
For men?
Yeah.
Ooh. I think for men, it can be kind of difficult because sometimes, I think as men, we all have that one friend who's just like, I ain't never getting married.
Yeah.
I'm about to get as many women as I can get. I'm trying to get all the notches in my belt.
Y'all be saying that?
Some guys do.
Oh.
And so, we kind of let that be okay.
Yeah.
As long as we're single.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But now that I'm married, if that's your mindset towards women and towards relationships, then I may have to reevaluate this friendship now going into marriage.
I can see that because that's wisdom.
That's just wisdom.
That's
just wisdom. Yeah.
So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today: how to maintain healthy relationships after marriage. So I want to read this scripture real quick. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 40. And I want to read it in the New Living Translation. It says, "But be sure that everything is done properly and in order." And so when it comes to relationships must be done in order. Notice the scripture said everything.
Everything.
It didn't just leave out relationships and said just do marriage in order. No. It said do everything. So that's relationships.
Agreed.
The whole package, the whole of your life, it needs to be done properly and in order. And so what we have for you guys on today, we have 5 things that you need in order to maintain healthy relationships after marriage.
Yeah.
You ready, baby?
Let's do it.
Let's dive in. And so, number 1, you got to establish order.
Yes.
And so there are a lot of different types of relationships in the marriage, but you have to establish an order.
Okay.
And I think that's where people make the biggest mistake at, is that they get into marriage, they're married now, honeymoon is over, and they really don't know where the different relationships fit because there was never an order established.
That's good. All right. Talk about that.
Let's talk about this order. So let's dive into it. So the order of relationships, the first one is God.
Yeah.
So,
always.
So that relationship with God, that has seat number 1 in your life. Mm-hmm. That doesn't change. That doesn't move. It's God.
Yeah.
Your relationship with God. Number 2 is spouse, right?
You mean it ain't mama?
It ain't mama. Ooh, you're going to have some people unsubscribe. Because you mean tell me mama ain't after God? Nah, mama ain't after God.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so number 1, God. Number 2, spouse. Yeah. Number 3, kids. Now,
still not mama.
Still not mama. But now I know some people say, how you put spouse before kids?
That's a weird conversation. I get it, but that's been like a long ongoing, whose plate do you fix first? Silliness. So, nobody. Bring me my plate. Just kidding. But anyway, go ahead.
But yeah. So no, that's. I have talked to people that struggle with that. They struggle with your spouse when it comes to relationships. Spouse being before the kids.
Before the kids.
Before the kids.
No. They struggle with having them before the kids.
Right.
So they're saying kids before spouse.
Right. They say kids should go before spouse, and their argument is that the kids can't take care of themselves. Mm-hmm. That's their argument.
Okay.
But number 1, we don't find any scripture to support that theory.
Let's back it up.
Right.
It up with
and then secondly, what you got to understand is the relationship with your spouse is the only one that's till death do you part. The thing about our kids, man, is we love them and, we appreciate them. We rock with them.
Right.
But when they get grown,
they ain't gonna rock with us.
They ain't rocking with us.
Right.
Like, they gonna come by the holidays and whatever. But like, they are going to now build and start their own family. And you know what? Just a little loop. Let's talk about that. Let's you know how people. I heard somebody. I was watching a video the other day, and somebody was talking about how whenever your child marries, let's just say your son marries someone else.
Yeah.
Your son marries this beautiful young lady, and now most people say that you now gain a daughter.
Okay, they do.
Right?
Yeah.
So you gain a daughter. But the video that I was watching, they were saying, yeah, in theory, yeah, you gain a daughter. I say, but what they were teaching was that child is now starting their own family. Mm-hmm. So it's less of you gaining and more of them now starting their own family.
Right. Yeah.
And so I don't think we talk about that enough. I think like we bring really if you think about it. No, go ahead.
No, I think because when we say no, I want to hear what you have to say about it. I'm gonna hold on to my thought. I promise.
Okay, you hold on to it.
Unless yours is like really super good.
Well. What I was gonna say was I think when we go into marriage with that mindset of us gaining and they're bringing someone into our family, I think we make it harder to leave and cleave.
Yes. You know what? You in the vein. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to imagine that you're releasing.
Right?
Wow. And so, but it's easier and it's more soothing to be like, I'm gaining a daughter.
I'm gaining.
Because then you get to keep them to yourself. No, let them go. Leave and cleave. That's so good. And you're right on. You're right on.
Yeah. And so I know that's a huge argument. You know, a lot of people say, no, I'm gaining. Yeah, in theory, yes, you are gaining a new son or a new daughter.
Yeah.
But you got to be very careful that you don't allow the gain to be greater than the leave and cleave.
Yep.
And so I got to allow you to go now and establish roots and a foundation in your own home with your new spouse. Like, you know, whatever I get from it, great.
Right.
At the end of the day, you are starting a new family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's really, really good.
And so that's why I don't have a problem with putting my spouse before my children, because I understand that in this covenant, this is till death do us part. My relationship with my child, I'm going to always be there as a father, of course.
Of course.
You know, but that child is going to get older and going to go off to college. They're going to marry. They may decide to move to a totally different state. Their career may take them further to somewhere else. So I got to be okay with that. But like my spouse is here with me. And so that's why that relationship of the spouse has the second seat. So again, that order is God. Number 2, spouse. Number 3, kids. Number 4, job.
Wow.
Now,
you know, mom and them is getting lower and lower on this list.
Lord, hey, listen,
Lord.
man, don't y'all go nowhere, man, because we ain't called out parents yet, man. Don't y'all go nowhere.
They're like,
stick
what
with
is
us.
this? You know?
Yeah.
But we'll dig into that piece. But go ahead.
But now, since we're on this job, you know, many people think that job needs to be higher up.
Oh, yeah.
Because they figure like that's how we provide for the family.
How am I supposed to take care of this family if I don't prioritize, my job?
Yeah.
If I don't put it at the top, y'all don't eat. And they feel justified. Not, and I know I did that voice like in a man's voice, but even women do that. My bad.
Don't do it like that.
Bad. You know what I'm just saying? Because men are typically providers, for their families, and that's your responsibility. But even we women, you know, missing out on things with our children and our spouses and time spent with our spouses because of our job.
Wow.
And God forbid something happens to you today, they're going to have your job posted by tomorrow morning.
Exactly. If you die today, they're going to send your spouse a nice card.
Yeah.
And if you did sign up for that free $2,000 life insurance policy,
I'm screaming.
You know, that most jobs offer, they're going to send you that.
Yeah.
And they're going to ask your husband or your wife to come by and get your belongings.
Right.
because Tom need to move in the office.
Right. No kidding.
Right. And so that doesn't take a higher rank just because it's how you provide for the family. But see, this is where most people mess up anyway. The reason why most couples want to move job out of the order into a higher ranking is because they believe that job is the source. Job isn't the source.
What is it?
It's a resource.
Come on.
That the source has allowed you to work.
That's it.
The Bible says that it's He that give us the power to get wealth.
That's it.
So it's God that breathes life into this body that allows us to get up and go to work and make the money. It's Him to get that gives us the wisdom to know how to do these different jobs.
Right.
And the intellect that we need to be the success that we are. Exactly. And so the job is just the resource that the source uses to funnel money to us.
You teaching on this podcast today.
I ain't trying to though.
But
I ain't trying to.
But you are.
My bad. Let me tone down and let me pipe down. But so although that's what we use to provide and buy groceries and pay the mortgage, like that's not the source.
Right. That's not the order.
That's not the order.
Right. Yeah.
It's not the order. And I mean, just because we have to provide for our family, don't mean we get to go change in
order. Because guess what? God knew that when He established the order, right?
Yes.
So you don't get to disrupt it just because it doesn't fit your mold or what your perception of what provision is or what it should look like or how you got to go get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we got to establish order. All right. Number 5. The fifth order would be extended family. So that's mama.
Okay.
That's
mama
daddy.
them.
That's mama and them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then number 6 is friends.
Yeah.
So again, let's run them again. Establishing order, God first, second spouse, third kids, fourth job, fifth extended family, and number 6 friends.
I got to ask you something.
Talk to me.
I totally agree with the order.
Okay.
Do you see where friends and family can become interchangeable for certain people, cases, and situations?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. And as we were kind of preparing this, I had that thought.
Yeah.
I do feel like those could be interchangeable because, like, to be honest, man, I got some friends that's like family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I asked that question. Or for people who, maybe your job takes you to another city, you move around, and then you have to you have to create that extended family wherever you are.
Right.
And I think, that's afforded to us, and I think those friends kind of take the place,
absolutely.
of family that you don't have. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. No. I totally agree with that. I think that 5 and 6, those can be switched around.
Yeah.
Based on the relationship, because let's call a thing a thing. Some people just don't have the greatest relationship with their family.
With their families. That's true.
And they got some friends that have stepped up to the plate, and they 100.
For sure.
And we got to be okay.
They keep it a book.
They keep it a book. I'm sorry. They keep it a book. And so we got to be okay with making that change.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So the second component of how to maintain healthy relationships after marriage. You ready for number 2?
I am ready.
Number 2, maintain balance. Balance. What do you hear when I say that?
Even too much, of a good thing can be bad for you. So that's what I hear when we talk about balance. No, we established at the top, you don't want to throw those people away.
Right.
You don't want to throw friends away, family members, whatever. But still, so now that I'm permitting you maybe not the best word, but you're permitted to have those relationships, let's say outside of marriage, like don't abuse it.
Don't abuse it.
There has to be, you can't be spending more time just because you're able to maintain those relationships with people outside of your marriage. You can't be spending more time with those people.
Right.
And neglecting your spouse.
Definitely.
Right. Or your children or what have you. Yeah. So that's what I hear when you say balance.
Yeah. I think I think a lot of times once we get married, we throw away or we neglect the relationships that we had prior to marriage because we don't understand balance.
Yeah.
Right. And so we feel like, okay, listen, man, I'm married now. I got these kids now. This has put a greater demand on me mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so most people just say, you know what? I'm just going to cut off those relationships because honestly, I don't have time.
Yeah.
And so you think you don't have time, and in essence, you just don't understand balance.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
You just don't really understand on how I can still be your friend and kick it,
right?
Just putting you in the right spot, in the right. So it really just goes back to order.
I was gonna say you just got to establish that right from the top.
From the top, right? Establish the order, and then when you establish the order, understand the balance.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, just because I figured out where you fit, and I'm going to continue hanging out with you and continue kicking it, I still got to maintain balance, though.
Of course.
I can't let, all my time be spent with you.
Right.
And so I think just for most people, we end relationships too soon. Some relationships that could have been lifelong relationships. Some relationships that could have been a blessing to the marriage.
Yeah.
We cut them off because we just don't understand balance.
Right. Right. No. And I think oftentimes it's easier to just do away with.
Oh, yeah.
Because then that, to do away with a relationship that once benefited you and has the potential to continue benefiting you, it's going to require a little bit of you, right?
Yes.
And so in figuring it all out and understanding that balance and gathering that balance and having those conversations, it's going to require something.
Right.
And so we'll just toss things away, people and relationships away because we don't want to do the work,
You talking good, sis?
So it's like, whatever. It was good. We moving on. I'm above that now.
Right. Yeah. So number 2, you gotta maintain balance.
Yeah.
You gotta have balance, guys. Number three, understand sacrifice. Understand sacrifice.
What does sacrifice mean to you? How are you hearing that?
So whenever I think about understanding sacrifice, when it comes to maintaining healthy relationships, understand that there's going to be times of sacrifice. Now, we have the order 1 through 6.
Yeah.
But it's going to be times where the order doesn't change. My attention to the thing may change. And those are moments of sacrifice.
Unpack that.
Right? Okay, so like for instance, so we said that job is number 4.
Okay.
But let's just say there's this huge event going on your job, or this is just a busy season, or you got to, or you work in accounting and you got to close out the books, and it's that time of the year to do that.
Right.
And so now your job requires more of you.
For this season.
For that month, for those 2 weeks, whatever the case may be.
Right.
And so it may be a time of sacrifice. Now, job doesn't go up to number 1.
Okay.
It's just that your attention needs to just be tweaked.
Right.
But now you don't change the order. Let me be clear.
Right.
In moments of sacrifice, the order doesn't change.
Right. You know what I just heard?
Talk to me.
So don't settle in sacrifice.
Don't talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? Because it would be so easy to, again, be like, well, my job needs me to do X, Y, Z. And then we make that permissible as, our spouses and our families. Okay, mom has to do this, dad has to do this, whatever. And then we understand it. And then we get in there and then we just settle.
We settle.
Oh, they're cool with it.
Right.
They're cool with me being at work. And then now 6 days turns into 6 months.
Right.
And your kids haven't seen you.
Your
husband hasn't spent any time with you. Right. You're coming home, late. So just make sure that we don't settle in sacrifice.
Don't settle. That kind of made me think about a couple weeks ago. I had a lot going on at work, and it was a little demanding, and so it started to pull on me a little bit. So I was getting off late a couple nights. Missed a couple events at home and things like that. And I remember one morning getting up, praying before work and just kind of talking to God. And again, I'm always on this, all right, God, show me me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, type of prayer. And I remember God saying to me to tell, he said, tell your wife to never get comfortable with not getting what she needs. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, huh? Tell her what? I'm like, she ain't doing that. And God started showing me me.
Yeah.
And so I remember coming to you.
Yeah.
And telling you, like, babe, like God said, don't get comfortable with me giving you just enough. Yeah. Don't get comfortable not getting from me what you need.
Yeah.
And I remember us standing in the kitchen having that conversation because I felt like you had just become numb and okay with some of my long nights, you know, and although, again, it was a moment of sacrifice, understand this. Now, although there will be times of sacrifice, your family should never become the sacrifice.
Ooh.
Like, yes, it's going to be times that, hey, listen, I can't make it to that event. I may not make it to that game on time. Yeah. Or, hey, baby, I need you to go and stand up, for both of us as mom and dad. Like, I need you to go be there for our children. I can't make it to that recital. It's going to be times of sacrifice.
Yeah.
But your family should never, under any circumstances, become the sacrifice.
You're teaching again.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But what happens is whenever our family becomes okay, or they get numb, or the sacrifice now becomes regiment.
Yeah.
They begin to just be okay with mom not being there, dad not being there. And when they become okay with it, we become okay with it.
Yeah.
And now we allow that to be a norm for us.
Yeah.
And so now working late is no longer working late. This just my new schedule.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You done just made, you get off work at 7 o'clock at night, and you done, you know what I'm saying, because there was a season of sacrifice, you getting off at 9.
Settled into it.
You know what I'm saying? 9 is just your new off time.
Right.
And so we just got to be okay. We got to be okay telling our spouse, hey, listen, I know that was a season where you had to do that, or where you couldn't do that, or where another relationship needed more of your attention.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it may be a time of sacrifice to where you may say, well, hey, listen, babe, I know that, this is date night, but hey, my friend or our friend, they really need me right now.
Of course.
They ran into some type of hardship and they just really need someone to be there for them. That's a time of sacrifice. And I think also when it comes to times of sacrifice, the number one key is it must be communicated.
Absolutely.
And it must be agreed upon.
Absolutely.
Like, talk about that, babe.
Wow. Yeah. So I mean, of course I agree with that. I agree with you for sure. Communicated and agreed upon, right?
Definitely.
You can't just hop up and say, this is what I'm going to do because this is what I'm going to do.
But this is our date night.
Well, then that needs to be communicated. Because just like that's just that moment. Now I'm like, well, what?
Right.
So communicate all the way through, right? And then so that we can get an agreement about what is taking place.
Get an agreement. So that way I'm not salty with you.
Exactly.
And now salty with that friend.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that friend is stepping on or trying to climb up the list of the order. You're out of order.
Out of order.
You're out of order.
Jermaine.
You're being Jermaine right now. You're out of order, right? Man. And so
you play so much.
I'm sorry. But and so you got to make sure that in moments of sacrifice that it's first communicated. And like you don't get to just make the decision on your own that you're going to change up the order without talking to your spouse.
Right. And I think that, those two things you said, that's key. You have to communicate.
Got to communicate it.
You have to gain an understanding, right? And get an agreement about whatever it is that you're going to do.
Yep.
Right? Because it's not just your time that you're sacrificing, right? That's your family's time. That's your spouse's time.
That's your family time.
So,
and so oftentimes too, babe, like I feel
remember you used to tell me that all the time. And
what's that?
I didn't get it. When I went through a season where I made work priority.
Yeah.
You know, like, and you'd be like, "That's my time," and I'd be like, "No, I'm the one that's there. I'm doing this work." I can promise you. No, but of course, I had to grow. I had to mature in that area. But yeah, it's not just your time.
It's not just your time.
And I didn't see it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't see it that way at all. I didn't see it as me missing opportunities just to spend time with you.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it as me giving away our family time.
Right.
It's work. It's what we do.
Just work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what we have to be mindful of is that order had 6 things in it: God, spouse, kids, job, extended family, and friends. Mm-hmm. And so the way that Satan would like to work is that all those things are always going to compete for the number 1 spot. Mm-hmm. They all want your number, like they all want to be in the first seat. Mm-hmm. You're going to have friends that are needy and that want to feel like they still have all of you, although because y'all been rocking since kindergarten, you and this friend, and now you're married. They don't want to feel like they fall to the end of the list. Mm-hmm. Because they felt like they were number 1 before you got married,
right?
And so they're gonna always compete for that number 1 seat. The job, Satan's gonna always want you to think and feel that your job is your source, and he's gonna always try to get that to sit in the first seat.
Yeah.
The kids, they're going to always have a need. They're going to always want something. They want to go somewhere.
Right.
And so, they're going to always want to pull on you, and it's going to be real easy because that they're in your care to allow them to ease up the ladder into the first seat.
Yeah.
So it's so important that we understand that although there are times of sacrifice, the order don't change.
That's good.
The order don't change. And this is how you maintain healthy relationships after marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to understand sacrifice.
Yeah.
Right? So,
spot on.
Spot on?
For sure.
All right, let's move to number 4. Number 4. You ready for this one, baby?
I don't know.
All right, number 4. Here we go.
Drum roll.
Number 4. Again, we're talking about how to maintain healthy relationships after marriage. Number 4 is determine what relationships cannot go into the marriage.
So I feel like we talked about that a little bit. Ooh, take a sip.
Let me sip of this water real quick before we go into there.
Okay, so I feel like we talked about that just a little bit when we talked about, those friendships. And then I was saying about how if I have a girlfriend who's, and you said it too, not speaking well about marriage or particularly not talking well about my spouse, then of course that may be, a tie I need to sever. Mm-hmm. Right. But I think kind of beyond that, or those things that don't directly affect us, I don't think we really consider what relationships should or should not go into our marriage with us.
I'm just going to say it like this.
All right. Say it. I think, yeah.
Unfortunately, every relationship that you have prior to marriage cannot go with you into marriage.
Yeah.
It just can't.
What are some, save that, but what are some relationships that are just absolute, like, we don't even have to negotiate this? It shouldn't even be a second thought.
Well, one would be to the person that does not understand, agree to, and respect the institution of marriage. Mm-hmm. Like, you've always been someone who talked about marriage and said that, you shouldn't get married. You can just shack. You could just be together, whatever.
Right.
Common law, whatever. Like, you ain't got to get married. If you've been that person since I've known you, then what's going to change just because I got married?
Yeah.
And so for me, that's one right there. I would just say, hey, listen, if you don't understand, agree to, and accept the institution of marriage, then we can't rock, because it was cool as long as I wasn't married, because, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all good.
Right.
But now that I'm married, like I'm in this institution.
Of course. Right.
So this is not a relationship that I can that can go into my marriage.
Right.
And so that's number one. The second one would be, let's just say you and your spouse were dating. And let's just say your best friend didn't like your spouse. You know, I see that a lot. You know, everybody, it's so funny to see people that don't like their friend's significant other.
And they're still friends?
And they're still friends.
Oh, okay.
But, you know. You like, but, you know, okay, so I'm talking about on the, like, we ain't married yet, though. Okay. Right? We ain't married yet.
Okay.
And so the second one for me would be, like, if you didn't like my now spouse whenever we were just friends.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you're going to like them even less now that we're married.
Because they're getting more of you.
They're getting more of me now. Mm-hmm. And so for that person, for me, that's a relationship that can't go into my marriage.
Wow.
That can't go.
I have one in mind that
can't go?
Yeah. And it's just been lurking in my mind.
Okay, well, get it out of your mind then.
Because I've had this conversation before. Past partners that you've been sexually intimate with.
Oh, absolutely.
And you think that y'all can be just friends.
Oh, yeah.
Now that you've moved on and got married. Talk about that.
No, can't go. I ain't gonna talk about it. That can't go.
Right. That's
that can't go. You.
Right.
Hey, look here. At my Forrest Gump voice, what the little girl told Forrest on the bus? You can't sit here.
Can't sit here.
You can't go.
I'm with you. Unless, of course, obviously, if children were birthed out of that relationship, then obviously you have to maintain a relationship. But just for the sake of, that's my friend, that's my homegirl, we cool. No, I just think that's off limits, and it's lightweight disrespectful.
Right, disrespectful.
It really is,
and dangerous. Very
much.
It's dangerous.
Very much
dangerous.
Yeah.
You know
how much of a field day the enemy could have. I mean, as if we don't have enough that we're navigating through.
As if marriage isn't enough.
Right.
You're gonna bring this in as a bonus, as an add-on. Right.
But you know what? I've heard of people. I'm talking about fighting to maintain those relationships. I really have. This isn't something I made up. This isn't something I heard about. Like, I know people who have fought to maintain those relationships because, we just friends now. And you, as my new spouse, you should just be over that.
You should be okay with that.
You should be okay with that.
They were in my life before you.
Ooh. And you know what they can be? In your life after me.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
So those are just some examples of relationships that just can't go into the marriage. And you got to be okay with that.
Yeah.
You got to be okay with that. Like, and then, you could even go from there, just saying friends. Okay, so you talked about someone that you had a sexual relationship with, but just someone of the opposite sex. Mm-hmm. Like, that needs to, friends of the opposite sex needs to be a conversation that you have anyway going into marriage.
Of course.
And I don't think we do that enough. I don't think we talk about that enough. Mm-hmm. I think for most couples, they just like to not talk about it and respond to it when it shows up.
And hope that they don't have to ever deal with it, rather than having the conversation and being transparent about how they see it, how they view it, and or how it makes them feel. Because a lot of people don't want to say that they may or may not be comfortable, right?
Right.
With their spouse having a close friendship with someone of the opposite sex.
Because they don't want to come off jealous.
Right.
Or insecure.
Right.
So, right. So I'll just rather not say anything.
Right.
To you about it, but just respond if and when it shows up. Mm-hmm. But that's the thing in marriage. That's dangerous too. That's dangerous because in marriage is not about being reactive. marriage, we got to be proactive.
Absolutely. We talked about that the other night.
Did we?
With that situation, you said you were listening to someone else and they said that their spouse was like, should you veer off, it'll be with some of the closest people.
Oh, yeah.
So that's opportunity. Not to say that they didn't, but that's opportunity. If you find yourself in that situation, like if you're uncomfortable about something, a lot of times, we say, oh, everybody wants to give it over to, oh, it's my gut. No, that's Holy Spirit sometimes.
Right.
Pulling you in, well, oftentimes, and saying, hey, you need to talk to your spouse about that. This needs to be a conversation.
Right.
We are to protect each other's blind side. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? If an issue should arise, it's not going to be just your problem. It's going to be our problem. But I had the opportunity to say something I didn't.
Right. I didn't want to say anything. I didn't want to, I didn't want to read too much into it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want you thinking something. And then some people think sometimes like, I don't want to say something because I don't want to plant the seed.
Yeah.
Well, if it comes to you in your spirit about your spouse, 9 times out of 10, it is there as a forewarning before the seed gets planted. Mm-hmm. Not an opportunity just for you just to know about it, never say anything because you are being afraid of being the one to plant the seed.
Right.
Like maybe the seed already planted. Maybe you here to be the seed plucker. You know what I'm saying? Up. Right. And so, we can't be afraid to have those conversations about those sensitive topics. And I have seen that just talking with couples, that one topic that we kind of shy away from is friends of the opposite sex. Because, again, most people think that if I talk about it, I'm going to come off as insecure. Yeah. I'm going to come off as controlling. Yeah. No, you're coming off as a spouse.
Right.
Like, be a spouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, be okay with that.
Right, of course.
And so, so when it comes to maintaining healthy relationships after marriage, one of the conversations have to be is to determine what relationship that just can't go. Right. Some just can't go. Of course. And, man, you got to be okay with that, man.
Of course.
I know you've been rocking with that person since day one. And that person has been there for you through the thick, through the thin, through the ugly. I'm talking about they ride with you. They fought with you. They've cried with you. They lent you money. You slept on their couch when you didn't have nowhere to stay. You know what I'm saying? You their baby's godparent. Right. So I get all that. But still, if that relationship does not breathe life into your marriage, it can't go. I understand and I appreciate everything that you've been to me. Mm-hmm. But if you are not where I am, if you're not going where I'm going, if you don't have the same view and the same value of this institution, then I can't stay with you. Because what good then is it if I rock with you and lose my marriage for the sake of protecting and holding on to this friendship?
Now we both single.
Now we both single.
And ugly.
Now why do people gotta be ugly?
Ugly looking.
Ugly looking because you're single?
Because you're single again.
So we're not saying that single people are ugly. No. Let's just clarify that. God. We're saying that now that you've lost your marriage and you single, you looking sad. And when you look sad, sometimes you look ugly. Yeah. But we ain't saying.
Not saying that at all.
Because we don't want the single people feeling some kind of way.
Not at all.
We love y'all single people. Although this is a marriage podcast, man, we welcome y'all singles, man. We trying to get y'all married. We trust that some
singles are tuning in,
absolutely, man.
Yeah, for sure. It's good information here for everybody.
For everybody. We trying to get y'all single people married. And so although you are in your single season, I hate saying season. Man. I just like
you don't like that?
Just because
because I'm in my married season.
You're married. I just feel like, man, people have taken that season and they've made it so churchy. Like, the season. They do their hair like this, but they do it. The season.
I got to work on that. Do I have it?
No, I'm bringing your wrist up some.
Oh, my God, dude. Up like this?
Don't worry about it. Like the season that you're in.
I want to be like
and so, but no, you may be in your single season, huh? You hear me? You may be in your single season, man, but this marriage podcast is still for you because you get to add some amazing material to your foundation.
Man, and how much better of a spouse will you be? You know what I'm saying?
Cause man, I ain't had this.
What you say?
I mean, had I had a podcast like Marriage Matters?
Okay. With John
and Dom, giving me all the matters of marriage, because they believe that marriage still matters. Still. So I mean, had I had this, man, going into marriage, man, I would have avoided a lot of turbulence.
Man, would we have?
Yeah. So singles, we rock with you, singles. All right, come on, number 5.
All right, number 5.
Number 5, and we done.
Got the blueprint.
All right, so number 5, how to maintain healthy relationships after marriage. Number 5, catch this now. Never impute your experience with relationships on your spouse.
Ooh.
Never.
Talk about what you've been doing.
Never impute your experience with relationships on your spouse. Now, this right here was very interesting whenever God gave this one to me. And so the reason that, what I'm saying when I say that is this right here. Let's just say one spouse before marriage didn't rock with their family, their extended family. Like, I don't fool with y'all messy, y'all nasty, don't keep your house clean, whatever. For whatever reason, you don't rock with them, you don't rock with your family. You don't rock with your family. But your spouse, on the other hand, is very close-knit with their family. So now that we're married, you don't get to come and impute your experience with your family, extended family, on me and say that because you don't, I can't.
That's good. Because all that's going to do is just create resentment. And now y'all have issues that you didn't have just because of your poor experiences, you know, and you're trying to impute those, like you said, over onto your spouse. Yeah. Or trying to make them mad at their family when they're not. Imagine.
Right. And then too, I mean, people have different personality types and stuff like that. And so you have some people who don't have a lot of friends. But let's just say, the person that you're married to, man, they're very popular. They got a lot of friends. They're big in their community. Right. They were, well known in high school. And so now, they got a lot of friends and you're just kind of like a loner, not in a bad way, but like you've always kind of had the mentality just to kind of just be by yourself.
Or just personality types, like introverts and extroverts,
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And so now that you're married, you can't, again, impute your experience with not having friends on me and now tell me, hey, I want you to stop kicking it. I want you to stop having all these friends.
Be unpopular.
You married now. You know what I'm saying?
Stop all that skinning and grinning.
You know what I'm saying? You out here with all these friends. Yeah. Ain't no married man got no business having all them friends. Right. And so, we can't do that just because that's not us. And so we just got to make sure that when it comes to maintaining healthy relationships, that we're not trying to impute our experience onto our spouse. Like if they're close with their family, but you're not, be okay with that. Okay. Get close with their family. If you don't want to, then don't. But don't tell me I can't kick it with my family and be with my friends because you are a loner, because you are a introvert, because you are someone who just wants to be by yourself.
Of course.
You can't do that.
That's not fair.
It's not fair at all.
To them, like I said, and it just will create resentment.
And then now, like you said, you got issues in the marriage that you shouldn't have and that you wouldn't have had you just allowed them to be themselves and maintain the relationships that are important to them.
I agree with that 1,000.
Yeah. And so, again, this lesson right here was just to really let you guys know that relationships are important.
Of course.
And I know that, right now we're in the holiday season.
Yes.
And so you're going to be traveling and seeing friends and seeing family. And I think that what's important is that you still maintain order. At the end of the day, listen, when Christmas is over, Thanksgiving is over already. So when Christmas is over, when New Year's is long and gone, like you still got to get back to the regiment of family. Yeah. You still got to get back to the original order. Yeah. And so just make sure that as we're navigating these relationships, that we understand order, that we maintain balance, that we understand sacrifice, that we also determine what relationships can't go, because during the holidays, you start running to friends and family members. Girl, how you been?
Yeah, let's link up.
Let's link up. No, no. It's a reason why you ain't been with that. It's a reason
why you unlinked.
Why you unlinked. Don't try to link back up just because it's the holiday season.
Right.
You know? So just make sure, man, that, hey, listen, I came back to the old neighborhood. I seen some old friends. And if we ain't been linked up, it's a reason. And hey, man, what's up? Good to see you. How your mama been? Cool. But when it's time to go, you go. You don't need to exchange numbers, because that may not be a healthy relationship for you to now bring into your marriage.
Right.
If there was a reason that you guys are unlinked, stay unlinked.
I'm with that.
Yep.
I'm with that.
And then again,
that's a tough one for some people.
It is.
You know, even when, like, it's just a tough one. It really is. I've been there.
You think we've done pretty good in our relationship when it comes
maintaining
to
friendships, like, outside of...
Yeah. And leaving space?
I think so. I think you be wanting to be more friends with my friends than I am.
I mean...
I'm like, man, they're my friends.
I think they like me more anyway.
I was like, man, they're my friends. But no, it's cool. I appreciate it.
I'm a likable person.
They like you.
And I think that's important that's important to your spouse.
Yeah.
That you are open and willing to become friends and become family with the spouse's friends and family.
Yeah.
You know, because no spouse wants to feel like
an outsider,
like an outsider.
Yeah.
And
that is important.
So I think that's important. And, you know, you've shared that with me. Like, you know, whenever you've introduced me to some of your friends for the first time, and, you know, we'll maybe go out to dinner or we'll kick it or whatever.
Yeah.
And once we get done, you'll tell me, thank you. You're grateful that I engaged and that I wasn't just there.
Right.
I was engaging. I showed myself to be friendly.
Right.
And I think that's vitally important to do.
It is. No, it really is. Like, I know for me, obviously, we've had this conversation, like, friendships are really, really important to me. Like, I have a core group of, like, friends and people, you know, that I've connected with throughout the years that I really value.
Yeah.
You know, and so, like, if you couldn't rock with them, then I'll be probably giving you the side eye. Some of my people.
No side eye me, side eye them.
No, but the biggest thing is, like, there's respect.
Right.
And they have the same, like, we share the same values. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's respect, like, for you and for us and for our marriage, because, like, all of my friends are doing all of their own things as well.
Right.
You know, so we share the same values, and I really, really appreciate that we've been able to do that and maintain long-lasting, healthy friendships.
Healthy friendships.
Yeah.
I think that's the key. Healthy. We want you guys to maintain healthy friendships, healthy relationship with your extended family. We don't want you guys to feel that just because you're married, you can't be friends. You can't have friends, and you can't kick it with your extended family. That's not what marriage is about. If anything, man, marriage is supposed to make you better. And then those extended friendships and extended family members, they should be able to experience and see the fruit of the relationship at home.
That's so good.
They should be able to say, well, man, you all right, but at marriage doing you right, boy. You should have been married. You're looking good, I tell you.
Say boy again like that. You said bye.
Man, whatever. But no. but no. So the friends and the extended family, they should be able to be a recipient, if you would. Did I say that right?
Recipient?
Yes. Yeah, recipient.
Yeah,
Come on now. Recipient.
Aeolion.
You know what I'm saying? They should be able to experience, man, the fruit. All right, come on, get serious.
All right,
talk to people.
Okay.
Experience the fruit, if you will, in this season.
Do I have it?
That's it. Season. Yeah.
Do I have
but no, man, y'all go out and be great, man, and have healthy relationships. But just make sure that you maintain the order. Although things will begin to compete and want to get to the top seat, maintain order. If you hear nothing else that we said, maintain order. Don't allow friends to take the number one seat. Don't allow your relationship with God to fall to the bottom, because really everything flows out of the relationship with God.
That's it.
And so if you want the relationship with the spouse and the kids, the work relationship, if you want the relationship with the extended family and friends, if you want all those to flow well, maintain a healthy relationship with God and keep him in the number one seat. When you move him out of his seat, everything else will crumble. And so we love you guys. We hope that you have enjoyed this episode. Listen, do not forget, hit that subscribe button.
Yes.
Like, share. Sharing is caring.
It is.
And then also across the screen, you will see the Cash App if you want to sow. We would love to have you to do that for us to help further this ministry and this podcast and YouTube channel. So hope you guys have an amazing night. Go do great things. And remember, marriage still matters.
Still.
Peace.